doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you what you like. The content it never stirs, but positive and uplifting. Once a week the scope gifted. Let's hear it fake. Hydration like Boucher.
What is up, everyone? Look, I'm off center, but I'm centered now. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the livest media tech and pop culture party in the land. This is MediaScope, all things media tech and pop culture. We're here every Friday. Yes, I know I am late. It is like after 11. This is why this is a MediaScope After Dark, my friends. MediaScope After Dark. Give me a minute to situate myself. There we go. So I just got in and not too long ago. So I said, I can't miss Friday. I need to be with you all. So here I am. This is where we are every Friday, usually at between 8 and 8:30 I come on. But today, clearly, it's 11 o'clock Eastern time. So thank you all for hanging out. And so we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitch. And then at 2 p.m. on Thursday, this same show will play on Gospel 107.1 FM in Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean. I wish you a multitude of blessings. And guess what? If you happen to be watching on the tubing of the U, or YouTube, as most people like to call it, like and subscribe. It really does help us. I appreciate when people like and subscribe, and we're trying to build a media empire here. So make sure that you are liked and subscribed to us on YouTube. And in case you don't know who I am, this is me right here. I am Dr. Tachi. Just call me Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, and also a journalist. And this is the meeting of the minds. Now, it is Friday, July 4th. For the first time in a long time, July 4th has fallen on a weekend. So I know lots of people in the U.S. are happy that they have a 3-day weekend. Some people may not, but some do. And I, for one, am glad that tomorrow is Saturday. Because when you have July 4th in the middle of the week, and then you either have to go back to work the next day, or it just kind of throws things off. So this is a nice end to things. In fact, I suggest all holidays be on a Monday or Friday. That's just me. So I hope everybody is having a great week and or had a great week. And so let me apologize, first of all, for the camera. Now, you may not notice it, but I do. Usually I use a super sharp, super clear camera because I just got in and I definitely wanted to be on. I didn't want to fumble with setting up the other camera. So I'm using my laptop camera. I know. I tell you all never to use this if you can avoid it, but I'd rather come on than not. And here's the trick. You can cheat a camera that is not that great by doing a couple of things. Number one, clean up. Oh, I see we have a comment. I'm coming to you. Use a microfiber cloth to clean off your lens. Some people touch it with their hands with tomato sauce and all sorts of things, and you wonder why it's not clear. So take a microfiber cloth and clean it off. That way you can get clarity. Number two, lighting. Let there be light, people. Make sure that you are using good lighting. Okay, that can help you. So forgive my camera today. I wanted to come on quickly, so it didn't give me the opportunity. But look who we have here. We've got a few people, and I want to say hello to The Food Plane. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Says hello to Dr. Tachi, who is me, and fellow media scopers. How are you, DS? And we've got the Dr. Vibe Show here late night. How are you? This is MediaScope After Dark, folks. Dr. I always love to give big ups. So, and Dr. Vibe will appreciate that because he's Jamaican. So the Food Plane has a wonderful series on YouTube called The Food Plane, and he visits different countries through food. He cooks them, and he made this wonderful looking naan that if you don't like bread, first of all, who doesn't like bread? But if you don't like bread, you'll like this. So check that out. And he says, what a pleasant surprise. Yes, well, so it is July 4th. I did go to a friend's house and had some fellowship and stuff, and we hung out, but I knew that I was going to get back past 8 o'clock. But I said, I am going to come on anyway, and we will do a MediaScope After Dark. I'm still, energetic and all of that. So Thank you. And look who is here. My great soror, Joni Red Butterfly, also known as Joan Balcom. How are you? Welcome in. It's good to see you. And Food Plane is saying hey to Dr. Vibe. And oh, absolutely. And so I didn't big up Dr. Vibe. Dr. Vibe has had more than 5,000 online conversations. He calls them epic conversations with so many different people across multiple genres. And we have the good fortune to have him not only as a creator on my network Indie Soup, but also as a member of the advisory board. So thank you. So now that I've done all that, it's time for the hug. Yay! Yay! The hug lets you know that I really do appreciate you being here. It's Friday night, so the fact that you're here is not lost on me at 11 something at night, at nothing o'clock at night. It's not lost on me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we've got some stories for you. So, last week we had an abundance of media stories. We do this week as well. So not only media stories, we've got some tech and we've got some pop culture stories. So you know what we're going to do? We are just going to get into it. By the way, let me know how your fourth was. I know this conversation could go wickedly wrong. So just tell me, when we don't do politics, just tell me how it went. Did you hang out with people? Did you have a good time? Just let me know. Okay. So as you're thinking and as you're putting your stuff in the chat, we're going to go ahead with the media intro. Here we go. Okay, so we do have another comment. Let me see. Okay, they're talking. You felt the love, did you? Good. I'm so glad. I aim for you guys to feel the love. Now, you may notice that Instagram is not here. I was serious last week when I said last week was my last week doing Instagram because the hassle of not talking to the people there. I love the Instagram family, but come over here. People who really are interested in seeing me, come over to the platforms that I'm on. Instagram is not meant for this type of video, and they're making no effort to do so. There are glitches and problems and things that they're not fixing. And I've been in the live stream game long enough now to know that when people don't fix things, they're not interested in making it better or expanding the capabilities. To the contrary, they close. I've seen this since I've been in the game, that as soon as tech support stops, when you can, they're about to close or pivot or get acquired. So getting acquired is probably not on Instagram's bucket list because they were acquired by Facebook. So what's probably happening, they're putting less and less importance on live video. Why am I putting my, ducats there? Now, I will go live over there if I happen to go to the beach or I'm at something, I will do that. However, my efforts are going to be on the platforms that actually give a damn. Okay, so Dr. Vibes, is nice to see YouTube top chat features in full effect. Now, I did not know that because I don't ever look at this for the most part on YouTube. I'm using, the encoder. So I don't see all the features because I'm not a participant. I'm running the thing. So thank you for letting me know that. That is happy. And that is happy. That didn't make sense. I'm happy. That is happy, and I am happy. So, folks, thank you so much for coming tonight. We're going to get with it because it is a hangout, but I also don't want to keep you forever because some of you may be full of baked beans, potato salad, coleslaw, and all sorts of other things. And I don't like coleslaw or potato salad, but if you ate it today, hey, that's you. Let's talk a little bit about what is happening Netflix wise. Okay. So, I always have Netflix news. Today is not different, folks. So listen, it seems like Netflix is trying to take on what MTV used to be. Remember MTV, a little thing called music television? Yeah, that's right. It was founded as a 24-hour music television network. They played music videos, they had interviews with musicians. I have not seen anything music on MTV in years. Now, they have sub MTV channels which do play music. Okay? So I'm not going to they have some sub, but not like before. So it looks like Netflix is trying to, creep in on what once was for MTV. So they're exploring music shows and celebrity interviews as part of their live TV push. Now, they've been pushing for live for a little bit of time now, right? Remember the last thing they did? They did a lot of things. Was that show that Nick Lachey is the head of? Is it it's not 90 Day Fiance. It's one of those dating type shows, right? Where people get married in 2 seconds or something. So whatever he's the host of, they did a live finale. This was followed by the um Mike Tyson, and why can't I'm seeing him blonde haired? You all can help me. Jake Paul. So the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight that was live. There were a lot of glitches in that one, and I did a whole Be More where we talked about the lessons from the Logan Paul. Why was I about to say Rick James? Not Rick James. Oh, Mike Tyson, from the Mike Tyson Logan Paul fight, from the Tyson Paul fight. So you can watch that and it will let you know, hey, and look who is here. Nadine Kelly. Hey, Nadine, it is good to see you. Welcome to MediaScope After Dark. And then Food Plane says, whenever I'm ready, YouTube recently made it harder to skip commercials. Now you can't until it says skip. People are ordering YouTube Premium if that happens. So are you asking, do you see people? Do I see people ordering YouTube Premium? Do I see that as a thing? Let me know. Oh, wait, here's the question. How will content creators make money with AdSense if there are no commercials? Will this affect content creators if people are running to premium to avoid commercials? Good question. Let me take this after I do the story, and I promise I will answer you because I love this question. This question I love so much. Absolutely. Food and Dr. Vibe says, yes, I can't stand the commercials. Here's the thing. I'll talk about it after. I'm tempted, but I'll talk about it after. All right. So they are looking again to do celebrity interviews, some music, etc. So they're planning to introduce more of the stuff that was core to cable, right? To the cable bundle, like I said, MTV. So they've held conversations with Spotify about partnering on a number of projects, such as music award shows or live concerts, a live concert series. And they've also discussed doing big celebrity interviews. Tell me, if you are a Netflix subscriber, are you in for that? And this would be live, okay? So live, and then you'd probably be able to watch it after the fact. But is this something that you are looking for from a Netflix? Let me know. Now, excuse me. Now, my first thought for me is not necessarily. I'm not necessarily looking for those types of things, but will I watch them if they're there? Yeah, if they interest me, I will. But for you as a viewer, are you interested in seeing these types of things on Netflix? Let me know. Let me know. So, they're also listen to what else they're doing. They are rebooting a classic music contest. You may know it, called Star Search. Yes. So it's they are rebooting Star Search. They're also focused on music because they've got another show called Building the Band, and it's actually debuting next week. So Nicole Scherzinger, from the what is it? Why can't I remember? She's been on several reality shows, including Dancing with the Stars, but Pussycat Dolls. Okay, so she was part of that, the Vegas Pussycat Dolls. That's how she got her claim to fame. So she's one of the judges, I believe. And so this is interesting because there are so many people that are not just cord cutters, but people that are, yes, Star Search, Dr. Vibe, Star Search. That's how Beyonce was on Star Search. Also, Usher was on Star Search. So these people that are really big now, and amazingly, the people who tended to do very well were not the ones who won Star Search. They didn't advance. So interesting, interesting. The original American, let's see, what Star Search? The old one with Ed McMahon. Yeah. Clearly Ed McMahon will not be the host, but yes, that's what that Star Search. I used to love Star Search when I was little. I did. So yes, they were the original American Idol. Before we had American Idol, there was Star Search. Although remember, American Idol is a spin-off of a British show called Pop Idol. Now I don't know when Simon Cowell was the one who created that there and brought it to the US. Now I don't know when Pop Idol started. It had to have been, I would say it was well after Star Search, but it is what it is. So we'll see. So that's what's happening there. So here's the thing. Love is Blind. That's the name of the show that Nick Lachey is. So they did that live, then they did the fight live, and they're leaning more into live. Instagram, did you hear what I said? They're leaning more into live. So I think if I'm to make a prediction, that live is really, people are going to be looking to live because it's something different. And this is not necessarily, this is live. So not live to tape, meaning it was pre-recorded and they're playing it live. This is actually in the moment. As it's being broadcast, it is live. People are in the studio. And I think it provides something different for the viewer. So I think we're going to be seeing more of this. I'm excited. I'm excited. So let's do this. I'm going to take DS's question, but before I do that, I got to do some station ID, right? Let's do some station ID. All right. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Tachi. I'm a media professor, filmmaker, excuse me, media content producer, and a journalist. And this is MediaScope. We're here on Fridays, usually around 8 p.m., between 8 and 8:30. But today, because it was the July 4th, I went out. I'm allowed to leave the house sometimes. So I went out and I got back, and I didn't get back until it was like almost 10 o'clock. So I said, all right, around 11 something, I will go on and we'll make it fun. And we'll do an After Dark. So this is actually MediaScope After Dark. Now, if you're wondering why my lights are so bright, I would have turned them down, but here's the thing. I'm not using my regular camera because sorry. Okay, sorry about that. How about I turn off WhatsApp and then we will have that problem. All right. So I got in and I just wanted to get on, so I didn't want to set up my other camera. So to make up for the fact I'm using the laptop camera, I turned on the lights, but you can still see the purple. So you get the hint of the After Dark vibes, the hint of the vibes. Okay, so, and in case you are watching us over on the YouTube side, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. It makes things nice, right? It lets us grow because we're trying to build a media empire here, folks. All right. So let's keep going. We off of Netflix to this. Do you guys watch The Bear? It has, again, won so many awards. It's just, I don't know. I have not watched it, so I can't say it, but it's become like a cultural icon. It's become a juggernaut of a show. People are talking about how good the writing is. Let me know if you have watched The Bear. Well, and it's on it's not on FX, it's on Hulu, but it's supposed to return next year. Okay. So I'm excited to see what it's about because I've heard it's really good. I do want to check it out. So they just finished season 4. FX has ordered a 5th season of The Bear less than a week after the fourth season premiere, and that was on June 25th. So it's going to stream on Hulu, as I said, and let me take this down and I'll tell you what they said. So, FX chairman John Landgraf said in a statement this: "The Bear continues to be a fan favorite worldwide, and their response to this season, as seen through the incredibly high viewership, has been as spectacular as any of the other previous seasons. Year in and year out, the creator Chris Storer, the producers, cast, and crew make The Bear one of the best shows on television, and we are excited that they will continue with this magnificent story." All right, well, there you have it. The Bear is renewed for season 5, and this is unheard of. How many shows do you know of in this day and age, in 2025, in the year of our Lord, that still, I keep getting this call. I will call you back. Nobody knows I'm on, so I'll call her back. Okay, so 2025, in the year of our Lord, how many shows do you know that get renewed for five seasons? You know, for even one season, let alone 5. So the Bear is new. Or renewed, I should say. Let's see. Hey, After Dark with Johnny Ray is here and says, I like the sound. Oh, yes, After Dark, because you're After Dark with Johnny Ray. I like the sound of that. Your phone rings at 11:30. Yeah, you know, my sister lives in Malaysia, so it's 11:30 in the morning for her there. So she'll call. And then Food Plane, this made sense. I watched the first season and was hooked. Of course you were. I fully expected you to like The Bear. Shows what it's like to be in the business, and that's the restaurant business I'm taking it. And Nadine K, the ones I like get canceled. Listen, that is the norm. Shows get, especially lately, if you get a season 2, you're very lucky. And so everybody's kind of waiting on eggshells, sitting on very sharp eggshells to see whether or not they will be renewed. And you don't know often until the very last minute, unless it's a show that's that good that oh, we're renewing it, right? And The Bear is one of those shows. So let's do this. Let's go back to DS's question. So, how will creators make money with AdSense if there are no commercials? So, this is a really interesting question. First of all, hold on a minute. Let me put this up, and I'm going to text my sister back so she knows I'm on the air. But in the meantime, let me give you the promo for Indie Soup Media. We go back next week. No, not next week, next week after. Here we go. All right, that's Indie Soup Media, my network, our network, I should say, independent content by independent content creators. Check us out. We will be back with all new episodes of all of our shows, not next week, but the week after next. So just look to our socials. Make sure you're following us on social media, etc., etc., etc. Now, back to the question of the evening. All right. So this is a really interesting question. And for those of you that are creators that are on YouTube, or you're looking to get on YouTube, this is something to think about. And I am by no means the expert when it comes to this type of thing. But for the most part, not everyone is going to pay for a subscription to YouTube so that they don't have to watch commercials. To the contrary, and I don't have the numbers of this, but I would say there are many people who have desensitized themselves to commercials so it doesn't bother them. I am one because I'm not going to pay for YouTube, right? So there are enough people probably that are going to watch YouTube that they don't have to worry about, "Ooh, how will creators monetize?" Because let's look at this too. You may only be thinking about the US. Remember, YouTube is worldwide. Remember, they get AdSense money regardless of who watches it where, right? And there are different ads depending on where they are. So you're going to get some AdSense money. I don't think it's going to be a mass exodus for people who, because we already have a problem skipping and you have to watch forever. It's annoying, but I deal with it because I don't necessarily want to pay. And so we think about people in other countries that are watching YouTube who don't want to pay, or it's too expensive to pay, right? For a subscription to that, or they don't have the option. And so they're watching ads. So I don't think it's really a problem where creators will not be able to monetize because nobody's watching ads. There will always be someone watching ads because remember, just like with cable, just like with some of these streamers, cable is not ubiquitous. In fact, it was never ubiquitous. There were lots of people who had cable, but it was not by any means ubiquitous. There were older people that did not have cable. They relied on over the air programming by using antennas and picking that up, right? There are people, think about all the people that are in like college dorms, etc. Especially back in the day, there was no cable there. You had a TV, but they had a closed circuit system or whatever. You're not paying for it. So cable was not ubiquitous. And so people were watching ads because cable was not ubiquitous. So now when we're looking at this, it is not ubiquitous for people to pay for so much content. And let's think about it. Even if people are willing to pay for content, is YouTube going to be the first place they're going to put their dollars? Think about all the streamers that we have right now, all the money that we pay for these individual streamers. And then think about how many of these people that pay for content like a Hulu or Netflix, etc. Is YouTube important enough to you to pay for it? And remember, because YouTube is free for the most part. So in your head, you're thinking free. Why should I pay? So I would say that people are less inclined to pay for YouTube and will continue to watch ads. So I really don't think it is an issue. Now, if you see where they start to try and make up for that by charging in other places, and I find out that there's an issue, then okay, I may stand corrected. But for now, I don't think it's an issue. So hopefully that answered. So makes sense, pun intended. Exactly. Kerwin, how are you? Creators will be making money via affiliate links, partnerships, and self-promotion. Thank you. That is another, absolutely, Kerwin. So this is another thing. But if we're talking about the platform itself, I don't think they have to worry. Creators will make that. So, but to Kerwin's point, you should never be a one-car horse. That's not the saying. One pot horse, one trick pony. I think that's it. Whatever. You know me and idioms. So you should never just have one thing going. When you're a creator, a content creator, it is multiple streams of income. So as Kerwin said, affiliate links, right? Affiliate links, whether through something like a LTK, like a like to know it, an Amazon or whatever, they're going to make some money off of that, or they have something that they're offering and they have an affiliate program. They're going to make money off of that. Also, partnerships, brand sponsorships. Lots of creators have brand deals, right? They're either signed with an agency that helps with that, or they do it on their own. So many of these creators that you see on YouTube, they are doing these brand deals. And actually, a lot of the money comes from the brand deals, not necessarily from YouTube itself, from AdSense, right? And then self-promotion. So it's a multi-pronged approach. You're absolutely right. So Let's see. Johnny Ray says we had a hanger with some tinfoil. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm proud to say we did not have that. We have antennae? Yes, we did, but no hanger and tinfoil. But listen, the hanger and tinfoil works. It's a glorified, what's a name? Well, no, an antenna is glorified tinfoil and hanger. So there's just a fancy thing for it. Anything that's metal that will pick up a signal will work, right? So, all right. So that's what's happening over there. The Bear has been renewed for season 5. And speaking of renewed, let's talk about something that is ending. Squid Game. How about I put up the asset so you can see it? All right. So I have not watched Squid Game. Put in the chat if you have watched Squid Game. I have not, but their ratings are through the roof. This is the final season of Squid Game, which is on Netflix, and they have set 3-day records. They've set a 3-day record on Netflix's chart. So this is not a surprise because it has been going strong the entire time for the first 2 seasons, very strong. This season is even stronger. So this third and final season, let me tell you the numbers, amassed 60.1 million views worldwide between June 27th and June 29th. That is the largest 3-day tally that Netflix has ever recorded with their internal rankings. Higher than Bird Bath. What? I can never remember the name of that stupid bird brain, Bird Bath, Bird Beak, Bird something, right? The Bird Box. That's what it is. The concept was just dumb to me. So, but it did numbers. So season 2 premiered in December and had a higher opening week total of 68 million views, but that came over 4 days. So now this is 60.1 million views over 3 days. That's really good. Congratulations to you, Netflix. So it is ending, though. This is third and final season, but I'm getting spin-off vibes. I don't be surprised if you see some sort of spin-off. There's already been, the Squid Game, the game show. They need a Squid Game, the animated series, but don't be surprised if we see some spin-offs related to Squid Games. So Kerwin says you have to look at the premium perks as far as cutting cable and using YouTube to get your local and premium cable networks a la carte. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. So this is because you can do YouTube TV, which gives you access to live channels, live programming, and that also, if I'm not mistaken, also gives you YouTube Premium, where you won't have the commercials. So again, if it's important enough to you, that is something you will do. I'm happy with my live TV provider, which is Sling. So I don't really have an incentive and I did do the free trial for the YouTube TV, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of the same as what I have. There wasn't anything that was offered that I felt I needed from YouTube TV. So I let that go. That ship sailed quickly away because I wasn't paying for that again. So for someone like me that is already happy with their live TV provider, there's no incentive to pay for it. But for people who like YouTube TV, because it comes with YouTube Premium and you don't have to watch videos on YouTube channels, it may be worth it. The whole thing is we'll see. That will be the answer to all of this. We'll see. We won't know until it happens. We can predict audience behavior, but it doesn't mean it will always follow. So we'll see. Let's see. Thank you for that, Kerwin. Absolutely. All right. Let's keep going. Folks, if you're just joining us, welcome to The Fold. My name is Tachi, media professor, filmmaker, media content producer, also a journalist. You're watching MediaScope After Dark. We're usually here at 8 p.m. on Fridays, but 8 p.m. and 8:30 between those hours. But today, since it was July 4th, I came on later because I got back later. So welcome in, welcome in. And don't forget, if you're listening in the Caribbean, you can listen on Gospel 107.1 FM. That's Nassau, Bahamas, and the rest of the Caribbean. And blessings to you all. Blessings. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about now. This is something that I really wanted to talk about. You know, I don't do politics, I abhor politics, but I talk about it insofar as it's related to media. So, for example, FCC stuff. Yeah, that's government and there's politics involved, but FCC is the governing body for media. So I will talk about it. Government agencies that deal with it. I will talk about it if there's a story. This is a story, and I think we need to talk about this. It has to do with Paramount, and let's put up this image. All right, so this is a still from the interview that 60 Minutes did with Kamala Harris. Now, as you know, the current administration sued over this interview, and they said that it was edited deceptively to her advantage. So, the interesting thing is people probably thought, okay, well, this is going to be thrown out. They're going to fight this. They're settling for 16 million. So under this deal, and the deal was announced Tuesday, the money is going to go to the current president's presidential library. So that's where that 16 million is supposed to go. They also will not apologize as part of the settlement. And they're also going to release 60-minute transcripts of interviews with presidential candidates after they've aired, according to a statement from the company. I want to know what you think about this. I have a fundamental problem with this. First of all, I don't think they should have settled. There's a reason why. But this is really dangerous, and this is a threat to freedom of the press, to actually cover things. Because again, this is deceptive editing. I did not see the actual interview, so I cannot speak exactly on what it said, on how it was edited, the style of editing. I'm an editor myself, so now that I'm able to tell, but you can always see when something is kind of joined together, although seamless. I think this sets a dangerous precedent. This sets a really dangerous precedent of you cannot say anything or do anything without fear of retribution from the government. And that should never be the case with this. Now, was it true retribution? Well, here's part of the thing. You know that Paramount Global is looking to acquire Skydance, another media company. That's a huge merger. This was kind of dangled as the reason why, even if it wasn't explicitly said, they want that merger to go through. So that's why they sell, because if you think about it, 16 million is a lot of money to me and to us probably, but it's a drop in the bucket when you think about it. Is it really that much? Not for a multinational media company, and obviously not for the person that's currently president. But it was more on the president's part, more of a statement than anything, if you ask me. And that's why I was like, why give in? Because this also damages, in my opinion, this can damage the reputation. Now, again, you are Paramount Global. What does Paramount own? CBS. People are going to be looking at CBS News sideways now, and this was even said. So let's see. As to the why, CEO George Cheeks said this. He's the CEO of Paramount. As to the why, look, companies often settle litigation to avoid the high and somewhat unpredictable cost of legal defense, the risk of an adverse judgment that could result in significant financial as well as reputational damage, and the disruption to business operations that prolonged legal battles can cause. Cheats continued. A settlement offers a negotiated resolution that allows companies to focus on their core objectives rather than being mired in uncertainty and distraction. Now, the legal team for the president said this: with this record settlement, um, he delivers another win for the American people as he once again holds the fake news media accountable for their wrongdoings and deceit. And see, this is the thing. It is not wrongdoing and deceit. And this is another dangerous thing because that's already the narrative that they're pushing, that the mainstream media is, quote, fake news, and they're always trying to be deceptive, which is not always the case, right? In fact, I would say it's rarely the case. Do they always do a great job of covering things? Not at all. But this deception is not necessarily the goal. Okay. So it is all the narrative is already out there that this is what they do. By you paying into this, this confirms and cements that something was done wrong. It doesn't matter that you didn't do anything wrong. You're just trying to get this out of the way just to continue business as usual, but that's not what the public sees. The public sees you did something wrong. So let me know what you think about this. So, hey, Cass, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is great to see you. And she says, blessed evening all, and blessings to you too. Thank you, Cass. So let me know what you think about that. I I have a problem with that settlement. Where does this stop? Right? Anytime anything is done that doesn't sit well with whoever may be in charge, this sets a precedent of, oh, I can just sue. This is a whole other thing. And again, I don't want this discussion to get political, but I think it's important. And that's why I brought it up. So let me know what you think. And I will take your comments after. But we have more to go because we only have an hour today. So we always only have an hour, but I always go over. But let's see what else is on the docket off of that. And let's get to faceless YouTube. This is a clever photo, I think. So I was going through an article on Digiday, and there is an explosion. I don't know if you've noticed this lately, but on YouTube there are so many faceless YouTube channels. Now, what does that mean? Let me take this down for a minute. So, a faceless YouTube channel is where, so rather than this, I have a YouTube channel. Many of you are watching me on YouTube. So, rather than being seen, you may have voice. You may have no voice at all, and it could just be images. There are lots of, I watched this one London YouTuber, his name is Watched Walker, and he does these tours, right, of London. We never see him. We never see his face. We don't even hear him. The thing is completely silent. There's also Walking Alice, who does tours of New York City. We never see her. We never hear her. It's all silent. That's another example of faceless, right? So these are cropping up all over the place. Same thing with for those of you who like ASMR, there is a Zen garden channel that I watch where, the Japanese Zen gardens where they're raking the sand or the gravel. So it is like a miniature kind of tabletop version of the sand. It's so relaxing. You just see the guy's hand. You never see him. There's no talking. Okay. So there are lots of types of faceless channels and they're exploding all over the place. Let me take this. Kerwin says faceless and still pull in revenue by voice and sometimes just seeing hands. Yes. Sometimes we just see hands. Sometimes it's voice. Sometimes it's no voice. Sometimes it is lots of different things. So the point is you're putting out content, but you are not being seen. Okay. And they're raking in money, folks. They are raking in money. So there is an affiliate network called affiliatenetwork.com. And over the past 3 months, this is a network of faceless creators across platforms. They've grown from 5,000 members to 21,000 members, according to the founder, Roman Naves or Caves, sorry. And he said that top creators in the network made an average of 30,000 to 40,000 a month in brand deals. So if you do it well enough, we were talking about brand deals, right? If you do it well enough, this is something that could be done. So I just thought this was interesting. So this is the thing that they were talking about as well. Why would an advertiser work with a faceless creator? So this is what was said. Jessica Berger is an innovation strategy person, and she said this: it's performance versus brand strategy. With brand strategy, you're aligning with the brand identity of a big influencer. Performance truly is for lower funnel conversion. You really want to be hitting that quick conversion and thinking about how quickly it can go into action. In that regard, you're going to go to the UGC, or user generated content creator, because it's cheaper in the production funnel. Okay. So you hear what the thinking is. This is why they're going after that. So interesting. And if you're interested in reading this, this is from Digiday, and it's called WTF is Behind the Explosion of Faceless Creators. So check it out. I think it's really interesting. So Cass Lou says faceless is interesting. It is. It's very interesting. I'm thinking about, I want to do another YouTube channel, and it probably will be some faceless stuff, but we'll see. Let me get myself together first before I ask about doing anything else. And Cass says, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Fantastic. Okay. So we're going right along, and I'm trying to also hurry up because one of our good friends, Ron Lewis Photos, I think he's doing his game night tonight. So I try not to overcross when I know another creator is coming on. And I tried to get on earlier, but you know what it is. Tis what it is. All right. So let's keep going. Let's see what is next. Okay. So you know what? I didn't do the intro. So before we do this, I would like to do the tech intro. Here we go. All right, so back to this photo. You're probably wondering, what is this? Is this a hospital? It looks like he's getting ready to get an ultrasound, doesn't it? No, not quite. This is a robot that's using AI to make a tattoo. So your next tattoo could be, or your next piece of ink could be done by a robot. First of all, put in the chat, would you trust a robot using AI to do your tattoo? This is interesting. And this is probably the last place we would expect for AI to show up in a tattoo parlor, right? Because tattoos usually are that mix of artistry. Let me take this down. Where are you? We think art, we think artists coming up with great things to mark you for life, right? We don't usually think AI, but it makes sense. So not only is it a robot, this robot is using AI to program your tattoo. Essentially, your tattoo is being programmed, and already I see some comments. So let's go back. Kerwin says your name is your brand. You can sometimes have the best camera in the world, but great voice and audio is 50% of the ingredients. Kerwin, I agree. In fact, sound is first. So I agree. You know, I'm a camera person, and I love having a great camera, which is why this camera is bothering me. And the fact that I'm not using my good camera, but it is what it is. But the fact that you can hear me well is what probably keeps you around. So when it comes to video, folks, Sound is paramount because people will forgive a slightly blurry image, but they will not stick around for bad sound. So, Kerwin, you're absolutely correct. Audio, great voice and audio is 50%. I would even say it's higher just because it matters so much how well you can be heard. So, Cass would not trust a robot using AI to do a tattoo. And oh, Kerwin says a resounding nope. Okay. After Dark with Johnny Ray says, no. And Kerwin came back with nope, nope, and big nope. Now, why? You're telling me no, but I want to know why. Wouldn't you think that AI or a robot would be even more precise than a person would be? Tell me why you would not trust an AI robot or a robot using AI to do your tattoo. Please let me know. All right. So this company is called Black Dot. They are out of Austin, Texas, and it's a startup. And they are pursuing visions. They've been pursuing visions of autonomous AI fueled tattooing since 2019. So this is not necessarily new. And this is what the founder, Joel Pennington, says. There are people that are wondering if technology should make its way into the tattoo industry, but that was what happened when Gutenberg came out with the printing press, and everyone thought that books should be handwritten. Touche. Touche. So this is interesting. I wish I had put up the some more pictures. I could, you know what I can do? I think there's a little video. I don't know if no, it's not really showing anything. I was trying to see if I could share the screen if it would show anything. Not so much. Not so much. Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go. So, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to give me a second. Look for this. And we are going to share this screen. All right. Give me a second. And hold on. So After Dark with Johnny Ray says, if the electricity goes out, it might stick me. That's a reason. Okay. Kerwin says, as much as I love tech, there's a big chance of a tech issue failure with no chance of auto correction. Right. Like, well, I would hope there's some sort of override so that they could, if something goes wrong and wonky, that they could do that. Kerwin says we have to know where to draw the line when it comes to utilizing AI. And that I 100% agree with. I have no issue there. All right, let's do this. I'm going to share the screen so that you can see. There's no sound to the video, but you can see how it works. Let's do this. I am going to share my screen. All right. Now you should be able to see this. All right. So this is what I saw at first. And so they're kind of programming it. Let me see if you could actually really see it. You kind of see it, right? So they're actually programming it. And now let me move down so that you can see. This is what it looks like. Okay. As you can see, they've got the needle and it's covered with plastic, and they've got the area pretty much sequestered, shall we say. And then this is what this looks like. What you're seeing right here is the AI tattooing, or the robot using AI tattooing. And you see the arm. You know, I don't know that I necessarily trust this. It could easily make some kind of mistake. Let's see. So this is a better picture of what the machine looks like. And sorry, guys, I'm plugging up the computer because I don't want it to go out. And this is, so where it says Mishu, that is what was tattooed. Can you guys see that? I don't know. This looks heavily dot matrix, and they played it safe by not doing something too involved. All right, so that is that. Let me stop sharing and we will go back. So tell me let's see what people said. Let's see. So Cass says, if I got one, it would be my first and would not be comfortable with an AI robot. What if it malfunctions? Then what? Kerwin says, what happens when the power goes out while trying to use AI? And after talk with Johnny Ray says, oh, hell no. Kerwin says, what I also see is how they have to buckle that arm down from move. Exactly. Yes. And After Dark with Johnny Ray says Rosie the tattoo robot tattoo artist. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's also the thing of when you get a tattoo that and I'm sure there's an operator that can kind of help with that. If you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, they can kind of ease up a little bit. They can kind of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know that a robot can do that. You have to program them to really do it. So it may not be able to sense when they need to ease up. And that's just lettering right now. What I would be more impressed with is if they did something, a design that's a little more involved. That would be a little more impressive than just the word of the name Mishu. Anyway, so that's what it is. Thank you for your comments. Thank you so much. All right, let's do this. We have one more story, and then we are done for tonight. Look at me being on time, ladies and gentlemen. I am proud of me, I have to say. Yes, the Jetsons robot. Exactly. See, we brought in those old references. This is why I love us. All right, so we are going to go with one more story. Get a buckle up. And speaking of buckling down, buckle your seatbelts. Chuck E. Cheese has launched an adult concept called Chuck's Arcade. Listen, not Chucky, it's called Chuck's Arcade. So they're opening new arcade centers that are targeted to adults and fans of the French franchise. And they announced this on Monday. Oh, wait, I did this without actually doing the intro. I need to be better. Here we go, intro. So it is pop culture. I had to do the intro. I have them. Let's use them. Okay. So Chuck E. Cheese is opening these new arcade centers. They're targeted towards adults. They announced this on Monday. And what they're going to do is merge older games with new ones all across the US. So I know somebody is like, who asked for this or why? So the goal of these arcades is actually to provide a space for adults who love arcades and who are fans of Chuck E. Cheese. So you like arcades, you're a fan of Chuck E. Cheese, and they're merging. By the way, how many of you are Chuck E. Cheese fans, went to Chuck E. Cheese when you were little, and this is the thing? And I think after you graduate from Chuck E. Cheese, this is when the Dave and Buster's comes in. Wouldn't you say that Dave and Buster's is like an adult Chuck E. Cheese? That's what I've always thought. So the company said this in a press release. The arcade was created for adults and lifelong fans who grew up surrounded by the electric glow of arcade screens, the symphony of digital soundtracks, and the thrill of chasing high scores with friends long into the night. Chuck's Arcade is a modern day love letter to the games and people who made Chuck E. Cheese great. Wow, they really took it there, didn't they? So it's getting ready to be the 50th anniversary of Chuck E. Cheese. Can you imagine? It's almost 50 years that Chuck E. Cheese has been in existence. So I guess this is, almost 50 years. You start to see what you can do differently. So these arcades are that, and they're leaning into nostalgia. Lots of companies lean into nostalgia all the time, but we have to look at the timing of this, not just because it's the 50th anniversary, but look at what's happening in the world now. When times are tumultuous, people lean into nostalgia. So this is perfect timing. Even though you all think you may think it's not, it is perfect timing because they're leaning into nostalgia when people need to remember the times that were good the most. And who didn't love Chuck E. Cheese? How many people went to a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese? Raise your hand. Did I? Yes. How many people went to McDonald's birthday party? How many people went to skating birthday party? Those were the things that you did, right? So it just brings back these wonderful memories. Um, and I grew up in New York State, so we really had good pizza. And I remember Chuck E. Cheese as being, it could have been awful, but I remember it being on par with the rest of the pizza. So great memories. You're leaning into it. People want to spend because they want to escape. They want to remember nostalgia. Even if just for the 2 hours I'm there, I don't have to deal with the rubbish on the outside, I will pay for it. Smart, smart, smart. Let's take some comments. Wabiri, I'm so late. Well, no, we're on late. How are you, Wabiri? It is so good to see you. Wabiri, the songbird herself. Cass says I only been there once for another child's birthday, and that was enough. Okay, arcade may be different. Prefer Dave and Buster's. I would have to see the change first. Trish, hey, says never been to a Chuck E. Cheese. Wow, wow. It's oh, I've been to Chuck E. Cheese and remember Showbiz Pizza Place? Showbiz was like, I went to a birthday party at Showbiz too. So Showbiz Pizza Place was like a Chuck E. Cheese, and they had this ridiculous robotic band at the front that kind of like, well, what was I can't remember the name of the band, but yeah. So anyway, happy 4th. Still here. Yeah, it is the 4th for you there. It is now the 5th here because you are on the West Coast, Trish. It is now the 5th here, but people are still, listen, Floridians, they're going to have their fireworks. They started in the middle of the week. I was like, it's the daytime. Can you at least wait? But tonight, the sky was ablaze with fireworks. Not even the official ones. These are people in neighborhoods setting off pyrotechnics and things. So I'm like, oh, I don't need to go to the beach it's outside. About to light up San Francisco. Okay, Cass, listen, these people, and I thought I was safe once I got back into the neighborhood. Nope, they're all doing it here. So nobody is safe. You are not safe where you are. So where can you find a Chuck E. Cheese location? They've opened 10 locations in several malls across the country, including St. Petersburg, Florida, Trumbull, Connecticut, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa, Victor, New York, Beaufort, Georgia, El Paso, Texas, Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire, and St. Louis. And there are more set to open in the future. Oh, slow your roll, Chuck. Anyway, so this is what they said, each arcade center reportedly has its own unique theme and features different games. You're going to be able to enjoy retro games like Pac-Man, is it Galaga? I don't know that one. Mortal Kombat, Donkey Kong, and Centipede. And you're going to be able to play newer editions like racing simulators and immersive VR experiences. So this seems kind of cool. We'll see. Let me know. Are you interested in? So we already know Cass task to see what it's like, but let me know. Are you interested in a Chuck's Arcade? Chuck's Games, Chuck's Arcade. Let's see. Do I have stock in what's CC? Oh, Chuck E. Cheese? No. Is it publicly traded? I don't even know if it's publicly traded. I'm sure it is, but I don't know. Stuff like that is volatile. Yes, I've got 10 million shares of stock in Chuck E. Cheese. Whoever your stock person would be very disappointed in you. Yes, Trish, I heard about the fireworks plant blowing up in North Carolina, California. Wow, so unfortunate. All right, folks. Well, guess what? We're only 4 minutes over. And so I'm proud of myself for that. That was our last story. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next week. I don't think anything is going on. I should be back on at the normal time. Um, Fred, Chucky is under investigation for being a rat. Oh, you know what? We used to have, there was a bar where I grew up that was called Mickey Rats. I was like, why would anybody want to go there? Mickey Rats? It's still open, I think, actually. Anyway, good to see you too. Thank you, Fred, for that laugh. Thank you for the clapping. Trish, you have a great weekend. So, guys, thank you so much once again for coming. I'm going to let you go. We're 5 minutes over at this time, but I'm still proud of myself. To that, I will say have a great rest of your weekend. I love you for watching. I bid you adieu. You guys, myself, and all of this news and information, we're about to exit this way, stage left. So I will see you next week. Until then, cheers, guys.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same news, no channel to use. Cruise control mentalities. Here we offer you. We gon' show you on your way. The content it never stays. We're positive and uplifting. Once a week, the scope gifted.